All right, welcome back, mathematicians. All right, so now I want to show you an example of a word problem, a real world scenario, where we have to write and solve an equation. Okay, so here I've got a word problem. So this word problem says Julie started with 20 pieces of gum and gave away X pieces. Conrad started with 35 pieces of gum and gave away twice as many pieces as Julie did. How many pieces of gum did Julie give away if they had the same number of pieces of gum left? Okay, so in order to solve this problem, we need to set up and solve an equation. So the main thing here is we need to understand what this question wants or what it's asking us, and then what type of information it's given us. Okay. So if I look at the question, it says, how many pieces of gum did Julie give away if they had the same number of pieces of gum? Okay. So we don't know how many pieces of gum she gave away, right? That's our variable. That's our unknown. So our variable or our X is the number of pieces. Okay, that's our unknown. All right, so we want to know the number of pieces that that Julie gave away if they had the same number of pieces. That word same. Okay, remember that word same is the same as equal. Okay, that's our equal. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're comparing Julie, right? So I'll put Julie on the left here, and Conrad. All right, so I've got Julie's pieces of gum on the left side, and I have Conrad's pieces of gum on the right side of my equal sign. Okay, so remember the number of pieces is going to be equal for Julie as it is for Conrad, right? Because our question wants to know how many pieces, that's our unknown, that's our variable, did Julie give away if they had the same number of pieces of gum left. So when this is all over with, they need to have the same number of pieces. All right, so now let's look at what it tells us about Julie's pieces of gum and Conrad's pieces of gum. So Julie started with 20 pieces and gave away X pieces. So there's Julie's information right there. So she started with 20 pieces, right? So at the beginning, she had 20 pieces of gum, and then she gave away. Okay, she gave away. Well, I know if I see that we're giving something away, that's the same as subtracting, right? So she started with 20 and she gave away X pieces. Okay, do we know how many pieces? Nope, that's our unknown. She gave away X pieces. Okay, we don't know how many pieces. So we're going to use our variable to represent those pieces. So Julie started with 20 and gave away X. So 20 minus X. Okay, and that's it for Julie. Now let's see what it says about Conrad. So Conrad, he started with 35 pieces, right? So he starts with 35 instead of 20. He's starting with 35. Okay. And then he gave away twice as many pieces. He gave away twice as many pieces. So again, he gave away. So I know that's minus. So he gave away. And then that word twice. Well, I know twice is the same as multiplying by 2, right? If I have twice the amount of something, I'm multiplying that by 2. So I'm multiplying the amount that Julie gave, which was X, times 2. 2X. Twice as many as Julie. 2 times X. So here's our equation. 20 minus X equals 35 minus 2X. Okay, so now I'm going to solve it. All right, so again, whenever I have variables or whenever I have equations with variables on both sides of my equal sign, my first step is I want to get rid of one of these x's. I can get rid of either this minus x or get rid of this minus 2x. The easiest way to do this is to get rid of the side that has the least amount of x's. Now, because these are both negative, these negatives can be a little tricky. So remember our number line. If I've got 0, right, to the left of my 0 is my negative numbers. To the right of my 0 is my positive numbers, okay? So here we have a negative 1x, right? Here we have a negative 2x. Which one's smaller? Well, I know my smaller numbers go to the left. So this is smaller. So I want to get rid of this minus 2x first. So to do that, I do the opposite. Okay, if you remember, we call that the inverse operation. So instead of subtracting 2x to cancel that out, I'm going to add 2x because minus 2 plus 2 or negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to add 2x. Now, remember, in the 8th grade, we can use calculators. So if you need to use the calculator on your phone, or you can use the Desmos online calculator, okay, put these in your calculator. You don't have to guess. All right, we can use calculators. So I know that negative 2 plus 2 gives me 0. They cancel out. And I know that negative 1 plus 2 gives me a positive x, or plus 1x. So negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. So I'm left with 20 plus x is equal to 35. All right, and we got rid of that minus 2x, so we're good. Okay, so here's now that I've got all my x's on one side of my equal sign. Okay, now I need to cancel everything else that's on this side. So right now my variable is being added by 20. I've got this plus 20 right here, right? That's a positive 20. Okay, so to get rid of a positive 20, I need to subtract 20, right? I need to subtract 20 because whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. I need this to equal 0. Well, 20 minus 20, if I put that in my calculator, I better get 0. So that's canceled out. That's gone. So now let's see what we're left with. I'm left with a positive 1x, right? Just the single x is equal to 35 minus 20 is 15. Okay? So remember, our goal is to get one of these x's by itself. So if I look here, I have my x already isolated. It's already by itself. So x is equal to 15. And we are done. So our question said, how many pieces of gum did Julie give away if they had the same number of pieces of gum left? Well, she gave away 15 pieces.